Hello everybody, here is Jannine Games and welcome to another video from the life and suffering of Sir Brante. Last time we returned to Anizzote and mainly we tried to focus on Nathan. And now it's time to see what the future will hold in this peacetime in Anizzote. Okay, so here both our older brothers got peace, but the peace and unity have been reached, and also the prophet status. So we have, I didn't count how many years left in this peacetime. Year 1139, the Archduke and the Overseer, two powerful lords, have been struggling for power in Magra for over 2 years now. The new overseer of the province, Gaius Tempest, cannot seem to rein in the obstinate spirit of the Archduke Torniquus Melendez. Unwilling to accept that he is no longer the overseer of Magra, the Archduke still stubbornly continues to assert his right to rule the province. Most of the Magra gentry, who sworn allegiance to him generations ago, remain loyal to him even now. Gaius Tempest has publicly demanded that the Archduke recognizes the overseer rule as legitimate. I am the voice and the will of Emperor Uther in the province of Magra. All lands, deeds, and titles notwithstanding, Archduke Melendez must obey his sovereign's will and heed his decree. I hereby extend to the Archduke an offer of peace. Should the Archduke cease his insubordination, his land, deeds, and titles shall remain his own. The Archduke's response to the overseer was openly defiant. Since the day of yore, the land of Magra has belonged to the Melendez dynasty. We are part of the empire, and we are the emperor's loyal servant. However, our dynasty will not stand for such an intrusion upon our lawful rights and privileges. Never before has an archduke been stripped of his right to represent the emperor's rule in his own province. So, do not forget, Sir Overseer, that the highest noble families of Magra have sworn fealty to me alone. Neither the Archduke nor the Overseer will relent, but both are too powerful to readily dispose of. A bath of blood between the Archduke, the bad blood between the two Arcanians has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay attention. Oh my god, word. So, the bad blood between the two Arcanians has festered for too long, and the common people have begun to pay the price for their strife. Stripped of the overseer's tax privilege, the Archduke Melendez has decided to impose his own levy upon the citizens and villagers of Magra. The commoners are now forced to pay taxes twice, first to the overseer and then to the Archduke. This double burden is too much for the common people of Magra to bear. Many have refused the second tax outright as a lawless measure, but the Imperial Legion, led by young Darius Otton, is ruthless. Eagerly and without mercy, the Legion soldiers correct the Archduke's due in cities and villages alike. So security has decreased. We are still secure. No, we are not now secure rather than affluent. The order is -1, so we are in discontent. We were at peace. And then struggle for power +1. We are still in struggle for power. A gift from the family. This last year has been an ordeal for your family. The pains taken to be ennobled by the sword, the close attention of the city aristocracy, the squabble between Stefan and Gloria. Tonight, your preoccupied father has gathered the family around the table in the backyard. The sun has almost set and there is a soft breeze, but instead of a meal in the open air, you are going to attend a family meeting. In the middle of the table, you see an open gilded box. It is full of jewels. Archduke Milandes himself has bestowed this gift upon us. It is a surprise indeed. I thought you all had a right to know. Father unfolds a letter lying beside the box. Sir Robert Brante, I bestow this precious box upon you and your family as a symbol of the care with which I treat the people of my province. Pray accept this gift and remember with whom the loyalty of the true nobles of Magra lies. Archduke of Magra, Tarnish of Milandes. The family stares in amazement at the jewels sparkling in the last ray of sunshine. It is worth quite a fortune, but the Archduke is fully aware that I am on the side of perfect Elborn, the overseer Gaius Tempest. Could he really expect our loyalty to be bought so brazenly? On the other hand, the Archduke is not demanding anything of us, and our family has borne a lot of expenses recently. Father, no one is forcing you to side with Milandes. Who are we in comparison to the Archduke anyway? We must not anger him by refusing his gift. The jewels are certainly welcome. They are worth of being shared with the best families of Anizzote. They will pave our way to the nobility of the sword. Mother shakes her head glumly. Oh Robert, I have a feeling this gift bodes ill. It may be an impertinence of my part, but I do not want our family to be in debt to the Archduke. Certainly not. Accepting gifts from Milandes, he is infamous for uprising the commoners and robbing villagers blind with his taxes. This isn't your decision, Gloria. It's a matter of our family honor and reputation. Please don't start bickering again. Let Jannine say what he thinks we should do with this gift. You are at the center of attention now. Your vote will be the deciding factor. Give the jewels to prominent nobles as gifts. If we had diplomacy of over 10, You accept the jewels from Archduke. You and Stefan will give them away as gifts to the local nobility to gain their favor, or decline the gift. If Sir Robert was overseas, you convince Father to send the precious box back to Archduke. Sell the jewels. You accept the jewels from the Archduke in order to sell them for a good price. Well, I would love this, but I can't, so we'll sell the jewels because that's the only option we have. You speak. You insist that the Arctic jewels should not be declined, but they must not be given away either. Your family's treasury needs an infusion of cash. The family's wealth is important in the eyes of society as its noble reputation. I don't know, DNA. Money comes and goes, but our family honor is here to stay. You object, reminding him that in your own lifetime the family has already fallen out of favor and risen again. For the nobles, a family's reputation is just another form of currency. Is there truly nothing more important than money and reputation? Archduke Milandis is a villain like no other. Our family ought to stay away from him. See, Madame Gloria, I agree with DNA. Let it be so. I'll send a note to the Archduke expressing our humble gratitude. But I'll also point out that I don't mean to change sides. I still serve my prefect and my overseer. In the meantime, DNA will see to the family coffers. You promptly take the precious box and go inside to start taking an inventory of the jewels. Mother Gloria and Ethan follow you with forlorn looks. So we still have modern means. The unity is still at peace. Sorry, Mother Gloria, Nathan, I would have wanted something better. The la-tari Society. Another winter has come to Magra. It has been almost a year since your return home. The Order has gradually gained power and influence in Anizzote. The Inquisition ward is no longer as deserted as it once was. It is filled with hushed voices of young Inquisitors and the heavy echoing footfalls of champions of faith. You and Jannine are only assigned cases of low importance. Inquisitor Orchin has taken it upon himself to investigate all cases related to Patriarch Cassius personally. Rarely, if ever, that Orchin asks the two of you for assistance, but today of all days, unexpectedly, he has requested a word with you. For the first time ever, you visit his cell, a spacious yet aesthetically furnished room. Urchin is sitting on a plain-looking stool behind a humble desk when you enter. A lash hangs on the wall across from you. There is a disturbing air about it. Inquisitor DNA, there is a certain special case I'd like to ensure to you. There is a society that exists in Anizzote. They study the culture of la-tari, an ancient civilization that is long extinct. This society, only for nobles. This is a society only for nobles. Most of its members are young and carefree. You come from a noble family. You know their manners and their etiquette, which is why you will be going there. By the will of the twins, The parents of one of the carefree young noblemen have found a book in his possession, an odd book indeed, and they brought it here. He points at book lying on the desk in front of him. The front of metal-bound tome bears an engraving, Vedas of the la-tari people of a translation by Master Newman, professor of the Imperial College. Upon his family's insistence, this noble, a young man by the name of Arnaud el Rancher, paid us a visit. He claimed he had done nothing wrong and insisted that the society meetings are just like any other noble party. The only unusual thing about them is their theme. They read the poetry of an extinct civilization, they wear peculiar clothing, they hide their faces behind masks of gold, the same color as the skin of the la-tari. But he let it slip that a certain mystery about to take place at their next gathering. His explanation was quite incomprehensible, but the young El Rencard was very excited indeed. I convinced him to donate his invitation and the mask to us. His codename is AL. This society has not gained much popularity just yet, but they must have a patron of considerable influence. What if Patrick Cassius is one behind it, and this society is what we have been warned about? One way or another, we must arrest heretics and make Cassius pay for allowing such a sect to exist. Your mission is to find out what they are up to. You must act quickly before they learn that we have El Rencard. My squad of champions of faith will follow you. They will assist you in rounding up the apostates. You nod. At least you finally have an important case to investigate. You recall the history books you read and studied long ago. The la-tari were an old civilization, an ancient race of magic wielders who worship false gods and even enjoyed a brief alliance with the Empire. Around 200 years ago, the la-tari disappeared from the face of the world just like all the other civilizations. Father Urchin presents you with a gilded mask. The society's meeting place is a noble mansion on the outskirts of Anizzote. As you ride a carriage to the la-tari society, you lean back on the cushion and close your eyes. What do you know of this dead civilization? The most important thing you can remember is that the la-tari believe that true existence was the product of their own will. They thought the world around them was an illusion, a dream of their own making. You cannot help but wince at the thought. The world was created by the will of the twins, not the will of mortal creatures. No wonder they rid the world of the la-tari. The carriage stops. You meet with a small squad of champions of faith in an alley near the mansion. The squad is led by one Captain David Agronim, a grizzled, muscled swordsman hailing from Arcania. His natural grim face is made even more hideous by a number of battle scars. Good evening, Inquisitor Brante. We'll be right nearby. Give us a sign and we'll come to your aid. The mansion is large but inconspicuous. You see noble carriages in the courtyard, many more than you expected. The gatekeepers bow and open the gates as soon as they see you. It seems a mask is enough to convince them you belong inside. You are ushered into a dressing room of sorts. A change of clothes already waits you inside. It's unlike any garments you have ever seen. A square of flowing, sparkling clothes with claps and cords to keep it in place. The servants help you into this bizarre garb. You cannot help but feel rather silly and uneasy dressed like this. But on your chest, behind the costume, rests the symbol of the twins, filling you with strength. The champions of fate await nearby, ready to come to your aid. You can do this. Next, a large hall. The windows are covered in black cloth to keep prying eyes away. What seems at first to be strange performance is playing out to be a strange performance is playing out before your very eyes. You hear droning unfamiliar music coming seemingly from nowhere. People fill the hall dressed in flowing robes and delicate gilded masks with narrow slits for eyes. The people stand and move unexpectedly close to one another, their hands on each other's shoulders as they talk. You approach one of the groups, hoping to overhear the subject of their conversation, and almost recoil when several arms reach out at once, attempting to grasp you tenderly by the shoulder. Steeling yourself, you put a hand on another person's forearm. You do not remember the last time you allowed yourself to touch another human being. The masked people seem friendly and genial. No one appears surprised by your insecurity. They continue their conversation as they accept you in their circle. Their conversations are also quite out of the ordinary. You hear unfamiliar names that could belong to the legendary heroes of la-tari, or people here who have taken them as secret identities. You hear references of books you do not know and the emotions these people felt while reading them. You listen as though in a dream. You hear several voices singing in a distant corner of the room. There are no lyrics to the song. Each voice contains its own note. Together they form a tender, softly aching melody. The circle of people next to you begin to move in a strange, slow dance. Their movements are unlike any dance you know. Their intertwined arms become an embrace, and the embrace then becomes the intertwined arms yet again. You see golden faces moving all around, and you suddenly realize with perfect clarity that you are part of these times too. You are one of them, one with them. You are more than you have ever been before. It is so alluring. It is true greatness. It is power, limitless, endless power. Your back is perfectly straight now, your head held high, as though you have actually glimpsed another world through other eyes during the short time you spent here. What other eyes? The eyes of Noble? The eyes of the la-tari? The entire world is but a dream of the la-tari. The symbol of fate grows very warm beneath your clothing. It clears your mind and helps you break free from the illusion. You are here for a purpose. Without a sound, you mouth a prayer. The younger defender of the world, aid me so I may serve thy future. Bring order back into my soul, the elder, the spirit of truth and love. Aid me so I may bear thy word further. Fill my mind with purpose. You hear whispers of adoration all around you. An Arcanian woman of below average height, clad in a long cloak and silver mask, descends the stairs into the hall. Oh, Lady Octavia has something truly special for tonight, says the voice next to you. And there she is, the secret patron of the la-tari society, Archduchess Octavia Melendez, the Archduke's own daughter, heiress to the province of Magra. She smiles at everyone gathered here, her pitch-black eyes surveying the whole. The la-tari were a great civilization with a wondrous and beautiful culture. Their disappearance from the world is an immense tragedy. Thank you all for coming. We have been united by a shared aspiration to understand the culture of the la-tari. We have learned so much already, but the mystery of the cycle of la-tari remains inaccessible to us. Today, some of you shall aid me as we investigate this mystery. Please close your eyes and listen. The time is coming when we must be said. The time is coming when what must be said must be said. When the thoughts become the world and the word becomes the world. So when the thought becomes the word and the word becomes the world, thus speak the la-tari. And at this hour we have come together to form this circle, to make our thoughts reality. The la-tari made us with the word, and with ourselves we shall make the world. Thus speak the la-tari. Only that which is unchanging exists. Only that which is real is eternal. Motion is death. All the changes is an illusion that makes not of us. Thus speak the la-tari. Only one thing in this world is unchanging, the la-tari. The la-tari is the world, for it is all that is real. Thus speak the la-tari. As she speaks, Octavia moves elegantly through the crowded hall. Her words enchant and mesmerize. The people in the hall are swaying, seemingly enchanted. Octavia stops and whispers something to several chosen members. They walk away deeper into the mansion. Octavia approaches you as well. This close, you can smell her perfume. Come with us too, Elle. The long hallway ends in a dark room. Octavia is the last to enter. Enter the circle of chosen ones and join hands. Direct your thoughts and feelings towards the circle center, towards me. Become one with me. Become one inside the circle. Become la-tari. One of the people in the circle begins a drowning melody. Others join in the song. Candles burn. There are strange ritualistic symbols inscribed on the floor. You look at them closer. They depict colorful, intertwined dragons. A long, thick knife appears on Octavia's hand. A long, thin knife appears on Octavia's hand. The gods are merciful to us, la-tari, their chosen king. They granted us the sacred laws. The one true faith resides therein. We, la-tari, we thus the first creation of immortal gods. The moon sees all it comes across, yet no one are equal to our cause. Death is our enemy no more, eternal foe of mortal life. Should it come closer than before, then neither run to it nor hide. The tempo increases, the songs becoming disjointed, chaotic, yet somehow orderly and right. The sacred symbol under your costume feels so hot it burns your flesh. Something's happening, as it is offensive in the eyes of the god of the twins. So heed the law of la-tari, one older than the very sky. He who wakes shall prosper, he who sleeps shall die. As she speaks these final words, Octavia Melandis discards her cloak. She is naked, her beautiful body completely uncovered. The song reaches its climax. Those standing in the circle sway from side to side. Their eyes roll back. They are lost in a trance. Octavia holds the knife in her wrist. She pierces the skin, then begins a long cut along her arm. Blushing blood begins to trickle down her fingers and onto the floor. Octavia raises the knife above her head, above her other wrist. A moment more and the ritual will reach its culmination. Should you intervene, you rush out of the circle of the la-tari and call for the champions of the faith. Inquisition power +1, tolerance -1, and personality +1 theology. Preach to them. We don't have eloquence of 13. So we can, if we had that, we could increase the Inquisitors' power. We would decrease tolerance, but we'll increase wealth and reputation. We'll decrease willpower, and we'll have a Archduke Milan is grateful, and Become part of the circle. So preach to them, the leader of the circle, Octavia, must be guided back to her lot. You will help her return to the true faith, along with her followers, or become part of the circle. You remain in the circle of la-tari, hoping to hold a new facet of creation. But I don't need this, so arrest the apostate. You break free from the circle, out of this house. The song behind you stops and dies. You hear bodies fall to the floor, one after another. Run! You have to run! You do not look back. As you run outside, you rip the mask from your face and wave your arms. The champions of fate appear before you at once. Hurry, the house is full of apostates who must be arrested. The champions of fate storm the mansion. Some of the nobles make a futile attempt at resistance. Most surrender without a fight. You return to the dark room deep within the mansion. The ritual has been cut short. The people are still on the floor, collapsed, unconscious. Octavia Milandis is on her knees, nude and bleeding. You clutch at a thin silver slab with prayer to the elder enchanted into metal. Twins, grant me the power of healing. As the slab dissolves in a silver glow, the light begins to emanate from your hands. The wounds on Octavia's body flash white. Slowly they begin to knit. Octavia Milandis is returned to her father. The Archduke of Magra expresses his profound gratitude to the Inquisition and promises to see to it personally that his progeny is returned to the faith. His dynasty now bears a mark of great shame. The other nobles await their execution, one by one, under the watchful eye of Inquisitor Urshin. They wayward soul ascend the pyre to face the judgment of the twins. The la-tari society quickly becomes the talk of the entire city. How could this have happened in Magra of all places? Many turn to Pater Cassius for answers. For the first time in a long while, he has none. This marks the end of your first year back home. So we are still strengthening the power, and tolerance has been decreased, but we are still surveillance of faith. Theology still at 20, as it cannot raise higher. An old friend. Would it be Thomas or would it be Sophia? We'll see. Night is falling over Anizzote. The deep feeling heat gives way to an eagerly anticipated freshness. After a day of work, you stroll home at leisure pace. You turn down a side street that you have known since you were a little boy. It is as if your legs are acting on their own accord, bringing you to the place of your childhood play, the remnants of your wooden fort. So much has changed since the days when you used to play here with your little friends. Engrossed in your memory, at first you fail to notice that you are not alone here. A tall figure in the uniform of a Legion officer approaches you. You see unruly brown hair and wrinkles in his eyes. It is Thomas. Now that's a surprise. Hi, Brante. Fancy running into you the moment I'm back in town. Your childhood friend put his arm around you. Our battalion got transferred here recently. We are under the command of Magra Legion now. I'm keeping the peace and maintaining order in my very own province. Well, why don't we catch up? Let me buy you dinner. We'll have a little chat. Remember the old days? Oh yes, I would want that so much. Thomas cuts himself short. You surely notice how much older he looks. His face has become sharper and rougher, and his eyes are filled with exhaustion rather than their usual mischievous sparkle. I should warn you though, DNA, I ain't the best company nowadays. I've managed to get myself some powerful enemies already. I am a friend who could taint your good name. So if you'd rather not be seen with me, well, I understand. No! Come on, I'm sorry I didn't accept the gift, the rings, but still, the smile on his face starts to fade. You have dinner with Thomas, reputation -1, willpower +10, but we get Thomas Gallardo +1. You aren't about to miss a chance to spend some time with your old friend, no matter what kind of danger he's in, or you walk away. You and Thomas part ways long ago. His fate is no longer linked to yours. Well, I cannot accept this, as it only brings bad things, so I have to walk away. Sorry. If I would play willingly, I would have not. You shake your head. You have no time to reminisce about your childhood. Your lives have long since changed, and your fates are now no longer linked. You are each following your own path. Thomas nods with a sigh. His voice loses the boyish ring it had, becoming heavy and deep. You're right, back then in Eterna. Still, I'm happy that our paths have crossed again, if only by chance. Take care, Brante. Sorry. Thomas stays by the ruins of the fort, a lonely figure lost in thought unknown to you. You walk away without a backward glance. Sorry! Come on. Oh. In the shadow of the tree, as Archduke and Overseer fight for power in Magra, the common people bear the brunt of their conflict. Increased speeches begin to fill the city. The temple by the white tree seems to have the only place in the city free from the endless talk of taxation. Today, the worshippers in the temple are few, all of them poor people from nearby districts. Some thank the twins for peace they have brought to the world. Some beg for a sign from above. One little boy is on his knees praying for prosperity. He has yet to learn it is an error to rely on the twins' aid even as you pray, for they are not our servants but the rulers of the world. You approach the altar, bow your head, and whisper a prayer for unity in the Brante home. O Elder, the spirit of truth and love, I thank thee for my family. Aid them and let them be aided in peace and tolerance. Though our vows may hide the gift of thy love, may we never refuse thy bounty. To your sorrow, the strife in our family home has proven to be far worse than you had expected. From letters, you never thought the quarrel between Gloria and Stefan would go this far. The temple gradually fills with people as noon approaches. Midday, it is the hour of the sermon. A priest steps up to the altar, leaning on a staff. The trim of his white cassock is embroidered with gold. He bears a book at his side entitled Lives of the Twins. It is rarely quoted even among religious scholars. Most of the faithful rely on the teachings of Eustathius. You recognize this man from the Sacred Conclave, above Leonard. Brothers and sisters, today I shall speak of the new faith, of its nature and its meanings. Many among you already know it in your hearts, but now I seek to find the words to help you understand it with your minds. For our hearts and minds alike forever seek the path of the twins. We have all known the doctrine of the old belief and teachings of Eustathius since childhood. Prophet Eustathius, who lived more than 1,000 years ago, wrote that the twins granted us all 3 lots to govern us, and 3 lots there are, one for each estate of the empire, noble, commoners, and priests. And so, more than 1,000 years we have lived by these lots, and by the teachings of Eustathius, for it is said that as you follow your lot, you are brought closer to the twins, and after the true death that awaits us all, at the end of the path, we shall be brought to the peak of the shining pillar. But now I implore you to look at the blessed Arcanian Empire. What was it like during the time of Eustathius, and what is it like now? Nowadays, no commoner may live by the sweat of his brow alone. In his home and in his trade, even a commoner must lead and rule. And what of the nobles? Their lot commands them to fight, but where will they fight if the blessed Arcanian Empire now extends from the sea to shining sea, from sea to shining sea, when all here enemies are gone? The lots of Eustathius were once our path to the twins, but now they have become our shackles. Can you even reach the peak if you walk a path that is impassable? The law that Eustathius gave cannot say. The old belief has no more answers for us, only questions. I have been a priest for over 30 years, and yet, and every day I have considered this question and found no answer. This is until our mentor Fotis appeared. Fotis said he would breathe beneath the burden of his lot, shall be guilty of the worst Fotis said, "He who breaks beneath the burden of his lot shall be guilty of worst sin of all, the sin of rejecting the twins. Is this how we are to reach the peak of the pillar? Is this what the twins want from us?" And Fotis said, "If the empire in which we live has changed over time, should not the fates change along with it?" And the new fate says, "Do not confuse your worldly life and estate with which you were born with your spiritual life, where each of us must find the twins on his own. And so may every person find his own lost, his own path to the twins. If a noble must suffer in order to purify his heart and fill it with love of the twins, then such is his path. And if a commoner enjoys the fruit of her labor thanks to the twins for their gifts, then let this be her path at the top of the shining pillar." The priest's calling is to offer guidance to each of us. The priest's calling is to offer guidance so that each of us can find his way to the twins, to their law, will, love, and thus to the bliss in the hereafter. Many servants of the church still persevere in their rejection of the new faith. They find it difficult to reject what they have long considered to be unshakable foundation of our existence. They find it difficult to face the truth. Let us pray to the twins that the guiding light of the new faith will find them as well. Most people in the temple kneel and bend their heads in silent prayer. The abbot prays along with them. Some, however, remain on their feet. These people shake their hands with expression of distraught and disapproval. The sermon ends. You feel it's time for you to leave, but then you notice the abbot motioning for you to stay. He walks to you with a smile, and it seems as if seeing an old friend. He gestures for you to sit on the pew. Inquisitor DNA, we have not been introduced yet. I am Father Leonard, but you probably know that by now. How do I know you? Why, it's no miracle. A good friend of mine, Augustin L. Brante, told me about you. He's a friend of my family. Oh, okay. Sir L. Brante is a long-standing follower of the new faith, and I have taken it upon myself to act as his chancellor in matters of faith. Oh. This is certainly good to know, but what does the bottle art want from you? May I aware that the Inquisition has come to Magra to investigate a report against... I am aware that the Inquisition has come to Magra to investigate a report against Patriarch Kaises. I am aware of this because I was the one who wrote the report. You stare at the abbot in surprise. What could possibly have motivated him to do this? You see, the Patriarch and I have known each other for many years. We used to engage in debates, and quite often, on the nature of the twins, on the teachings of Isatius and Fotis, on the path that serves to guide people to the peak. For all those years, matters such as these were of great concern to Cassius. He used to remember the purpose of his service at all times. He used to truly care for the people, but now something has changed. As if now all Cassius' desire is power. His sermons are filled with lies and pretense. He has gained the support of the old faith believers, and now he accuses us of apostasy and heresy against the twins. But in truth, he serves the twins no longer. Our opinions often differ, but my most recent conversation with Cassius left me terrified. I expected him to accuse the new faith once again and of staying from the true path of the peak, but the patriarch suddenly questioned the importance of guiding people to the twins at all. The patriarch of Magra, of all people, told me this DNA, the man who addresses the twins in the name of the entire congregation, the man who must be embroidered of purity and virtue for his flock. So the man who must be the embodiment. I wrote my report and sent it to the order immediately after we spoke. I'm glad to see you got here quickly, but if you ever find proof of my word, what will you do? What awaits Magra if Sacrament Tribunal of the Inquisition condemns Cassius? You may have noticed the delicate situation in our province by now. Magra is the birthplace of the new faith, and many worshippers have been eager to take the preaching of Photius to heart, and yet the priests in Magra remain deeply bound by the old tradition. Can you imagine chasm of misunderstanding that now separates the clergy from their flock? And yet, should Patriarch Cassius be cast out of the faith, the council will most likely elect another ardent old believer in his place. The gulf between the clergy and the flock of the old faith and the present day will only grow deeper. In my opinion, however, that there is yet another way, which is why I must beg you for your aid. Tell me, if you may, what is the foundation of every faith and belief? If not books or rituals or temples, it's people. So it's not books or rituals or temple, it's people. Our church has forgotten this. But it is the people who must choose the guide they will follow to the shining pillar. I know you came to Anizzote to weed out heretics and apostasies, but I beg you, please do not judge in haste. The fear of punishment paralyzes those who are on the way to the new faith. Please allow them to see answers on their own. They might stumble along the way, but this is the price we must pay to ablaze our trail. And when all is said and done, new faith will be our salvation for Magra, for the Empire, for every person who lives within. Help Father Letterman. You agree to help the new believers. Refuse Father Letterman. You state we will only serve the interests of the Inquisition, or we could. You point out the flaws and inconsistencies in Fawcett's teaching to Father Leonard and refuse to help him. Clearly, Father Leonard is in error. The teachings of Fawcett are heresy, one that dooms its worship to eternal torment at the foot of the pillar. It is the duty of the Inquisition to guide people away from the dangerous doctrine and towards the old faith, the true faith. The laws are part of the twins' design, you say. No matter how much the world might change, the twins command us to live by the law, for it is their will and their love. To dispute this would be the same as denying the twins themselves and condemning unto self to eternal agony and at the foot of the pillar. For this doctrine has split the faith and clouded people's minds. The order of the Inquisition must uproot the misguided heresy and reunite the faith. Father Leonard shakes his head slowly. You shouldn't put all blame for the schism on the new faith. Our world has changed, yet the laws that are trying to obey have remained the same. This is the reason for the schism. Patriarch Fawcett was only the first to see this. It brings me sorrow to find no understanding in your heart, but I will accept your words as they are, Inquisitor. Go forth, brother, and may the twins be every day by your side. They already are, you told him. You leave the temple for a sunlit street of Anizzote. The sun shines in the sky and the infinitely distant shining pillar gleams on the horizon. Oh. The call of the ancestors. Today is a big day for the Brante family. The day your family line started, the day when we remember all your ancestors. Tonight, everyone who bears the name Brante must descend into the family crypt to keep vigil by the tombs. This is the time to surrender yourself to your ancestors and hear their will. The entire family prepares for the event in silence. Stefan has been choosing his apparel since morning, praying anxiously under his breath all the while. The heir has a special place in the family vigil. Even mother is planning to go. You thought father tries to talk her out. Lydia, I beg of you, stay home. You are far too weak for an all-night village in the crypt. Gloria, would you be so kind as in to stay with your mother since you cannot join us anyway? Gloria answered in a muffled voice. As you wish, Sir Robert. The late Sir Gregor would only be enraged to see Mother there. We all remember how their last encounter ended. Father nods curtly, avoiding Gloria's gaze, but at that moment your attention is drawn to a noise in the foyer. Nathan staggers through the door, stumbling over his own feet. He reeks of cheap wine and filth. I'm not late, am I? Everyone gazes at him in consternation. Nathan almost falls into Mother and Gloria's arm. Distressed, they fuss over him. Stefan eyes his younger brother coldly. I expected nothing more of you, Nathan. Why even speak of duty to your family when you can't even manage to live by the commoner's lot? Go lie down in the pantry and stay out of our sight. Father, DNA, it's time. Let's go. Alongside Father and Stefan, you descend into the family crypt. You cannot help but remember paying your last respect to your grandfather 9 years ago. You light the lamp. Dim, eerie flames illuminate the shrine. In the middle of it stands a magnificent stone tomb containing the long decayed remains of Gregor Brante. You take your place around the crypt and kneel. The all-night vigil has begun. At first, your ancestors remain silent. Each of you is left with their own thoughts. Then a low murmur passes through you. The shadows in the corner of the room deepen. The voices grow stronger. You know that the ancestor of Gregor Brante, long forgotten commoners who you never knew, are trying to talk to you. But now a memory of them has come to life in the darkness of the crypt. They are pleading for something, demanding it of you, calling out to you, screaming. Finally, you all hear the painful, familiar, deep, imperious voice echo from the far end of the chamber. It's been a long time since I've seen all So it's been a long time since I've seen you all. I hope you bear good tidings. All this time I've been waiting for you to fulfill my mission. Remember, as long as I'm in your blood, I will give you no peace. I did not have my family ennobled just to see our line cut short. Our blood tie must join the grand flow of the empire, and then each of my descendants will inherit nobility forever and ever. But I do not see any of you before my tomb. Where are you hiding? Where is the head of our family? The man who will speak to me? Where is the man who will heed my will? Father rises from his knees and makes his way towards grandfather's stone tomb, the source of the booming voice. But Stefan suddenly pushes him out of the way. Father takes an indignant step forward, but Stefan firmly bars the way. Stop it, Stefan. You are my heir, but you are not the head of this family. Father, It is not you that Sir Gregor is addressing. Earning the nobility of the sword is my duty to him. He has long forsaken any hope of seeing you achieve it. You must understand that I am the one who will fulfill that duty. Stefan does not let him pass. Father breathes heavily in anger. You can all but feel the frenetic beating of both their hearts resonating somewhere within you. Both your father and brother seem to have forgotten that you are here too. Even the restless voices of the ancestors have grown hushed, waiting for the outcome of the confrontation. Side with father, Robert Brante remains the head of the family. Supports Stefan. The elder brother had earned the right to speak to the ancestors on behalf of the family, or you yourself are entitled to speak to your ancestor. So I want this. Side with father. You block Stefan's way. Your ponderous voice fills the dark crypt. You demand that your brother steps back. The head of the family is your father, Robert Brante, and so it will be as long as he lives. Would your brother have forgotten that it is part of the noble lot to acknowledge and honor seniority? Your father is the man who must hear and accept your ancestors' will. Stefan tries to maintain his composure, but even in the dark you can see his face twitch. Brother, you do not understand. I'm not defying father's seniority, but I am the man who bears this duty to our grandfather. I cannot remain a mere witness while the future of our blood ties runs through our fingers. You resolutely push your brother to one side. Wherever he wants to or not, he will give way to the head of the family. Father catches his breath and approaches grandfather's tomb. So it is you, Robert. Have you come to disappoint me yet again? Stefan is right. I have not put my hopes into you for quite some time. If anyone will lead the Brante family to glory, it will be my grandson. Stefan clutches his fist and whispers something to himself. I'm doing my uttermost, father. We are closer to becoming nobles of the sword than ever before. The overseer looks upon us with favor. Just a couple more years and your dream will come true. This must be your dream too, Robert. But you still care to your fondly Lydia and Gloria, risking permanent blemish upon the Brante name, my name. Dead though I may be, my will lives on. Heed it at least. Get rid of the parasite Gloria and devote yourself to your true family. Otherwise, you will lead your family to shame and ruin. Father hesitates for a moment. No, father, this is impossible. Even if I must defy your will, I am responsible for Gloria. My honor and my conscience will not allow me to do what you demand. You must accept this, or keep fighting me for all eternity. The voice of your deceased ancestor fades away. He seems to have left this realm, but then his voice suddenly booms from the other side of the crypt. Stefan, you are the heir of this family. Your duty by blood is to earn us a place in eternity. Do not take after your spineless father. Do what must be done. Cleanse our family of wickedness. Stefan is shivering. He replies in an unsteady voice. But Gloria, I can't. Stefan checks himself. I will do my duty to my family, Sir Gregor. Whatever the price, I will pay it. The crypt is completely silent once more. You are alone again. You see tears glistening in Stefan's face. Without uttering a word, he goes outside. Father claps his arms firmly around you. You feel him let out a sigh of sorrow and relief. The vigil is over. I'm working toward family peace. The will and the law. The world of Magra Inquisition has little space for dungeons in which to detain and question suspects. Just a handful of underground cells with tiny windows and heavy doors. You and Jannine are standing in one of them, facing a man accused of heresy. 2 days of questioning have yielded nothing. This man was distributing books containing a distorted version of the teachings of Isatius. The teachings themselves were intact, but the books also included comments that only criticized the foundation of the old faith. To set up the clandestine print shop for such a blasphemous books, one needs powerful connections and money. This could be your chance to track down a heretical sect of considerable power. The man is on a rack. Rope is wrapped tightly around his wrists, turning them a deep shade blue. Jannine has treated the prisoner with patience and mercy. She has forbidden the use of torture in an effort to prove to the man that his silence is pointless. You hear footsteps coming down the stairs. Inquisitor Urchin enters the room. He has refrained from interfering in your investigation for 2 days, but it seems his patience is at an end. You and Jannine welcome your mentor with a court nod. He walks past you and examines the man upon the rack. Slowly, he shakes his head. I see you are in need of my aid and guidance. Remove him from the rack and put him in a chair. You humbly do as he says, while Urchin takes great care in selecting the proper tools for what it is to come. When the man is finally seated, the Inquisitor steps closer. Sharp steel flashes and severs tip of the man's pinky fall to the floor. Ugh. The man lets out a blood-curdling scream. Ugh, I heard that. Father Urchin serves the finger down to the knuckle. Well, where is the print shop? The man shrieks and curses at him. Father Urchin walks around the chair, the prisoner's eye bulge in terror. The Inquisitor removes the man's ear with a precise cut. The prisoner howls in pain, shivering, convulsing. Blood streams down his neck, forming a dark brown stain on his plain shirt. Jannine is stone-faced as he watches this happen. Urchin is utterly disappointed every bit as calm and calculated as before. Sorry, Urchin is utterly dispassionate, every bit as calm and calculating as ever. This manner of corporal punishment is an everyday occurrence for him. The Inquisition continues to torture, repeating the same question over and over again in the same tranquil voice. The prisoner will not stop convulsing, but he says nothing. 10-fingered joints now lie scattered around the room. Stream of blood trickle down the stone the stone slabs. Urchin reaches for a hammer. Finger bones are brittled. There is a crack, then a scream, then sobbing. The knees are next. The prisoner will not stop screaming. Beneath the howling and tears, his lips are unsealed at last. He begs for you to stop. He will tell you everything. The print shop is in Sulmina, a small mining town in eastern Magra. The prisoner tells you exactly where it is hidden. Jannine writes it down. Father Urchin walks over to the wash basin. He pours some water on his blood-stained hands, then carefully wipes them dry. He glances at you and Jannine. Never pity a heretic. They deserve neither compassion nor mercy. Sister Jannine, finish him off. A lesser death is fitting punishment for his crimes. Father Urchin, forgive me for my impudence, but this man's fate must be determined by a tribunal. Sister, I have personally sentenced him to lesser death for his sins. The tribunal is a mere formality, a senseless waste of time, just like your attempts to convince him to speak. Forgive me, but I refuse. You and I belong to the same lot. You are not a noble. You cannot give me orders. You are far too arrogant for a girl barely out of the seminary. Father Urchin voice rings like hardened steel. Jannine meets his gaze defiantly. The prisoner is sobbing quietly, still shackled to the chair. So we can kill the prisoner. You obey Father Urchin's order, or you support Jannine. You insist that the prisoner must face the tribunal. What should I do here? Okay. After considering the quandary, you say that there is already a proper punishment for every wrongdoing. To carry out a sentence here and now would be murder, and such a violence would be in defiance of your priestly lot. Father Urchin stands erect. His gaze moves from Jannine to you. Tell me, is your indecisive motivated by fear or pity? I advise you to consider which of these is more ruinous for an Inquisitor. Remember this, the rules and laws of the Order were all written by man. We, however, fight those who seek to undermine the very law of the gods. But Have it your way. A tribunal will decide this man's fate. With that, Urchin turns and leaves the dungeon. You summon the acolytes to take the prisoner back to his cell. When you are done, Jannine looks at you with resolve. The younger is the law, the order, and the form. To serve the twins is to obey and protect the law. I'm glad to see you understand that. 2 days later, the prisoner is burned at the stake. Father Urchin insists that the heretic be sentenced to true death. Jannine attempts to appeal the sentence, but the Inquisitors tribunal stood with Urchin. You watch the execution take place in the yard of the Inquisitor's ward. The prisoner's howling and the torture seems quiet compared to the screams of agony as he is consumed by the flames. You cannot look away from his burning body. His death comes slowly. Killing him yourself 2 days ago would have been a mercy. Sorry. So we are still weak and we're still prepared for anything. Oh, finally we still have 1, 2, oh. Okay, so then I guess this will be all for today. We had plenty of events to deal with. We tried to pick what was best for ourselves, but we made some choices that I personally would have not picked. But still, I guess this will be all for today. I have been Jannine Games. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Feel free to comment, and I will see you on the next one. But until then, have some great days. Bye.